Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 10th episode of the Divine Mess. Finally, that double digit.
Yay!
Yes, when we first started, we never thought at this point that it's our 10th week recording. Like we have been showing up for each other, like for you guys as well, for 10 consecutive weeks.
Weeks.
And I think it's aligned with what we are going to talk today. With
Yes.
because we are finishing off the F series. If you have missed our previous episode, that's okay. You can always catch up. We are on Spotify as well, and which we're very excited about. And
So excited.
if you can't see Tina right now, she's like clapping her hand. She will start singing maybe,
Very exciting.
and there she goes. So for the first time listening, I'm Kirti Deva Perman, also known as Deva. I currently live in New Zealand. I'm a holistic life coach, and I have the lovely co-host Tina Mary, right? Mother Mary, like I
Yes, yeah. Well, actually, Tina Marie.
Tina Murray. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I have
Yes.
my French accent on, so I can't really say that, but I will say it in French, and she
Do
doesn't like
that.
it.
Oh, no,
She
no.
but
Please
thank
don't
you.
get me started on the French accent
Yeah.
at all.
Maybe in the future episode, we might do one in French because Tina is
I've got
learning.
to keep learning.
Yeah.
If we're
She's
going to do
keeping
that.
her score high. Thank you again for coming on board and listening to us, having conversation, and we will move soon to the finishing off rather the F series. But obviously we got some question that will come in based on the series. And if you want us to talk about any other subject, please let us know.
Yes.
So I will leave to Tina to introduce herself and introduce the topic as well.
Oh, I get that distinct pleasure today. Fantastic. Hi, everybody. I am Tina Marie. I am a love coach. I teach women how to step into their divine feminine energy, which I know for a lot of you lovely ladies out there who are doing it tough all by yourself can be a bit tricky. So if you're finding it a little tricky, perhaps we need to have a conversation about how to step into your divine flow. You will be surprised what happens when you do. Today, our delightful F series topics, and it's not my favorite word that I do have a tendency to drop. It's a really interesting word because not many adults know how to do it. And also the second word, not many adults know how to experience it either. So without further ado, we are talking today about fun and freedom. So, Mr. Deva, how do you have fun?
Oh.
How do you build that into your day? What does that look like for you?
Well, to start off, I remember, I think it was Abraham Hicks who says, is like when you have more fun, the universe will start showing you more opportunities and bringing you faster your dreams. And for me, it's like I change it a little. It says, when you have fun, more fun, it's like the universe is dancing along with you.
Yeah.
And it gives you that freedom as well. So for me, how I incorporate fun, because when I first heard Abraham Hicks and Gabrielle Bernstein as well in one of her books, she says like have fun. And I think I saw that in The Universe Has Your Back. And I was like, well, that doesn't make quite sense. Back then I was like, how can I have more fun when you want more money? How can I have fun when I wanted like to get a job back then? And I was like, yeah, that doesn't make sense. Fun, but actually, when you're having fun, it's just bringing that feeling of happiness. And the happier you feel, the happier you're aligned. You're more aligned to the true self, to your true self, because at the core, you're love, your light, and your fun. So, and you're truly happy. It's the human side of us that think like we are not we we need stuff to feel happy. We need something else or someone else to feel happy.
External
exactly. And we don't focus on ourselves, and we don't, because I know, like, when I ask people, what do you do for fun? It's like I have that puzzle look, or like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm not feeling good,
Are
and
you
you're telling me
speaking English or French to these people?
exactly, and they're
Have you
like,
slipped back into French all of a sudden
it's
and
like
people
going
going,
back to Mauritius, and they're like, are you sure, like, you're living in New Zealand or somewhere else? Like, did you miss something? And I used to have that like 5 or 6 years ago, when I heard that term, like, have more fun and it will attract more. But until I understood, like, having fun for me, it's like going back to that inner child where I used to like climb trees, or playing football, and no worries, like, you didn't care about what others think about you, and you just enjoy that moment, and you
yeah,
just be in that moment. So for me now, it's like doing things that I love. Like, maybe it's going to the beach, like just enjoying that, maybe sunset or sunrise. Normally it's sunrise that I really enjoy, because it's more quieter where I'm staying, and I get to enjoy that sunrise. And for me, that's fun. And maybe people don't find it fun, but for me, it's like, it's being aligned with the spirit or divine, whatever you call it. And for me, that's connecting and make me more happy.
mhm.
Also, fun activities could be like going out, or like maybe trying some social games. But that was back in the days that I used to do that. For me,
What,
that's
you're a hermit now and you don't socialize with anybody? Is this what you're trying to tell people?
maybe not out loud, but yeah. No, but I do have other activities, like sport activities. For me is really fun. Doing like adrenaline junkie stuff. That's my fun. Like bungee jumping. That's I find it fun. Yeah.
Okay, I'll take your word for it on that one.
Yeah, and we are planning one with Tina anyway, so I'm just letting it out.
Yeah, I'm just trying to come to grips with that.
But she's really happy at the moment. She's like,
Oh, I'm so pumped, can't
yes,
you tell?
yeah, she's like stoked about it. Like, she's like, yeah, I'm going for it. Like, come on, we are going to have so much fun doing that. But once you start having fun, it leads to the other word, like that freedom, because
Mm,
you let go of that negative pattern and negative thoughts, and you become aligned with your true self. And that gives you that emotional freedom, maybe, and the financial freedom will come once you're feeling like you let go of all those negative belief, or negative thoughts, and just being in that moment, enjoying yourself, being like a child, that will makes you feel free.
yeah,
And
yeah,
what are your
1000%.
thoughts about that? Like, what do you
Like in terms of fun, coming from a reformed control freak who wouldn't have known how to have fun if she tried hard, being the elder sister of the family, I was the responsible one. I did all the stuff I was supposed to do, and fun was kind of like the last thing on my list. I'm a grown-up. Grown-ups don't have fun. Grown-ups have responsibilities. Grown-ups have to pay the bills and go to work. And fun, what's that? Sort of in the crew, I suppose, I went to school with. Fun was, for them anyway, not for me, control freak, was getting drunk and getting stoned. Like that was fun for them because they had a release valve, I suppose. But for me, it was, I don't know, like I don't remember in my 20s having a lot of fun. Like I just don't remember it being a fun part in my life. I remember when I had my children and they were small and doing things with them, like playing the Legos and digging out in the dirt and cooking with them and watching their expressions, and when they'd put cake batter on their faces and they would do things to make me laugh. That was fun. But I think as once I had left my marriage, for those of you that don't know, I was together with my ex-husband for 22 years of my life and 17 married. And when I left that relationship, I had to learn about myself and what I found to be fulfilling and how to have fun and what freedom looked like to me, you know, free to make your own choices, free to walk in the door without it being emotionally like charged or challenged, or, you know, you could walk in there was freedom to walk in the front door and light a candle and turn your favorite music on and pour a glass of scotch and eat veggie curry for as long as I really wanted to. So that was a little bit of discovering who I was in that, as much as that time is really topsy-turvy and emotions are all over the shop, there was that freedom to explore. And I don't think a lot of people give themselves an opportunity to fully explore who they are, because they step into roles that they think they have to perform or to do or to be. And we're so ingrained in us, you know, saying to our kids, oh, would you just grow up? Would you, you know, stop acting like a child, stop that, you know. And we're taking all the fun out of it for them. But for me, I think fun is noticing the little things, or getting halfway to the park yesterday and remembering I didn't have shoes.
Oh.
So I had my walking gear on, I had the socks in the front seat of the car, I had the dogs, I had everything sorted.
Yeah.
And then I went, oh, shit, I've got no shoes. Okay. So instead of going back in the traffic, I went, you know what? I am free to walk this earth without my shoes on. I don't need my shoes.
Yeah.
I can walk through the squidgy bits of the grass where it's been soaking in rain for the last couple of days and kind of go, oh, that's an interesting sensation. I'm not really sure I like that. And the fun of watching my dogs launch themselves into the water. One can't swim and one thinks she's a submarine. And so that for me is fun. You know, there's such joy and lightheartedness and ease about them being who they are.
Yeah.
So for me, fun is lots of things. Fun is music, and fun is cooking, and fun is dancing, and fun is singing in the shower and shaking my butt and thinking that I'm awesome and that I'm like Aretha Franklin, and I'm probably not. But that's fun for me.
But I'm sure you're awesome. Like, I know that. Like, don't worry about that. We all know that. The universe is hearing you.
So those things are fun for me. But everybody's got to find their own version. Like, I also find joy and fun in running on a treadmill and doing things that I find challenging. I you know, running in the rain. Most people would go, oh, just stay in bed, teen. And I'm like, no, because it's, for me, that's joyous. You know, I'm still able to move my body and to do it with some ease and grace, even though sometimes I don't feel that it looks very graceful or easy. I like challenging myself. I find the fun in everything that I do, meeting new people, the things that are uncomfortable. I try and find the fun in it, because otherwise life's pretty bloody boring.
Yeah. And
just
it's about telling yourself, like maybe I was just thinking, like, whatever works for you, like that you find fun, just do it. Like, you don't need to go out maybe and run in the rain for you. It's fun. Maybe it's like staying back and doing a puzzle, for example, that some people might find boring, but
coloring in.
For them it's fun. Or building a stuff, like whatever works for you that you find fun, without comparing yourself.
Excellent.
Yeah, without comparing yourself to
Yeah,
others
yeah.
and without comparing their hobbies to yours. But like, do you just
But also be open to trying new things too, I think,
yes.
to discover whether they're
Yeah.
fun for you or not.
Yeah.
I think a couple of months ago, I tried slacklining.
Oh,
So that was like,
never heard of that term. So can you?
oh, well, you know, when you know, the straps normally that, you know, like if you're towing a load somewhere, they have those straps that they tie things down onto the back of a trailer or
Yeah.
the back of a
Yeah.
truck.
Yeah.
Well, they're like those straps, but they're just probably 2 inches wide.
Mm,
And so they stretch them between two trees
mm.
so that they're a little bit slack. They're not super tight like you would if you were tying down a load. They're a little bit slack. And the deal is to learn how to balance
Oh,
on them. You know, they're probably like a foot off the ground.
yeah.
And so you're learning how to balance. You're learning how to trust
Mm,
yourself. You're learning how to pick a point and space in time and utilize it to focus. And
mm.
it's like the best form of meditation because you can't be worried about the people that are coming down the path and who's looking at me and do
Yeah.
I look dopey, or
Yeah.
you can't worry about any of that. You've got to concentrate on your breathing
Wow.
and moving your foot, each foot in front of the other. And, you know, we were learning to do this with having support people on either side. So then it was learning to trust that other people had you and
Wow.
to surrender in that moment in going, I'm not an expert at this, but I am learning a new skill, so I don't have to be.
Yeah.
And the results were surprising, like in terms of like, oh, I actually like that. I don't mind doing that. You know, it was fun to try something new. But if we don't try these new things, when someone, you know, gives an opportunity or says, hey, Dava, have you tried this? Or have you tried rock climbing? Or have you tried kayaking? Or have you dragon boat racing? Or whatever it happens to be. And you go, no, that doesn't sound like fun to me. You're not giving yourself the opportunity to try.
Yeah.
So wear a life jacket, go jump in the boat and go have a bit of fun, you know, like go in with no expectations. I think that's the biggest part with endeavoring to have some fun, is to go in with no expectations, because then it gives you the freedom to experience it for what it's supposed to be and not what you think it will be.
Yeah. And I love what you just said, like, you know, like try something that makes you uncomfortable and try something new. That's really good, because then you will start discovering, oh, I didn't know I like that. You know, I didn't know. Like, for example, when you come here, you know, and we go bungee jumping, and you will be like, after that, you'll
You'll
be
be
like,
going,
oh, Deva, I didn't know that I love that, you know, and it was so
let's do
fun.
it again.
Let's go again. And we'll be like, yeah, sure, let's do it today itself, you know, and we all know that. But until you don't try and you're not open, even when you're scared, when we talk about that in episode of fear.
Yes,
But the
1000%.
other side of fear, there's that freedom when you have that fun and you're being like a kid. And like you know, you describe like going running in the rain, and for me personally, I love that, because you know you might be the only one running on that day at that time, because everyone else is back in home, and so you got that freedom to be on
But
your
I kept waiting for the rooster tail of someone to drive through a puddle and just drown me. It didn't happen, but I was kind of like, well, if the universe is choosing to drown me today, I will just kind of go with the flow.
surrender. You will surrender.
Yes.
But I like even starting that podcast, you know, like we always had fun. Like before even starting that podcast, like we always had fun conversation,
Oh
because
my
we felt
Lord.
free, like to be open to each other, like whatever we're going through. Like
there was no masks, there was no screens, there was no sometimes there's a level of, is this appropriate to share?
But now
And
it's not like
but
that.
now I'm like,
It's all gone.
it's all gone. Like
Yeah.
it is very comforting
Yeah.
to find your person who you can share things with uninhibited and just be who you're meant to be without going, does he need to know this about me?
Yeah. But there's no judgment. Like when you find your soul tribes, you know,
No.
like when you find your like family, like soul family, that's where, you know, maybe like going at midnight, for example. I remember there was one post I saw that they invited people at moonlight, or like you go at midnight and you sit in a circle and you meditate at that time and you tell your affirmation. And well, no one
Oh,
is
I've got
saying
the
that,
chills.
but Tina is like enjoying that moment. She is already like,
I'm
yeah, let's
there.
go. I can see she's like already there. She will be like, yeah, I'm there. Like, you don't need to ask.
I want to dance like a sprite around the fire and,
Yeah.
just have some fun, humans. Let it go.
Yeah. And that's one example, but it doesn't need to be your example. Like, go for what you like. And if I would suggest, like, some people, you know, like they find it like they fear like to find a hobby on their own. So maybe go for group meetings. Like there's one website I think called Meetup or something here, where you have different groups and they do different activities. Maybe that's scary for you at the start, and start off with a group, and that might ease you off just to start.
Do you know what was interesting?
Yeah, there it
And
comes.
our favorite podcast,
Oh yes.
Miss Mel Robbins,
Yeah.
said, how do you make friends as an adult? Like, because when you're in a position like I am with 4 children and you're no longer at the school doing the drop off, they're being flung out the car while you're still driving past the school, there's none of that. How do you go about meeting people? And she said, you've got to pick, even if you're not a coffee person, there's a different couple of types of coffee shops in your local area that you can go and go for a month and just observe the people that are coming in and out the door, the regulars, the people that are, and strike up a conversation with someone and say, oh, I love your glasses, or they're a great pair of shoes. Can you tell me where you got those from? And just ask those questions. But she had a really good tip. Like if you meet someone you vibe with and you think, I wouldn't mind catching up with them again. She said, when you put their contact in the phone, take a selfie with them.
Oh, wow.
So that when their contact comes up, you go, oh, that's Jill I met at the coffee shop.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Which I think is really good, because when we introduce ourselves to new people, we then get to introduce ourselves to new experiences and new ways of having fun. Like Jill's way of having fun might be because she lives locally, it might be progressive dinners. So, Jill lives 2 streets over. So at Jill's place, we're going to do, appetizers and entree, and then they're going to come to our place, and then they're going to sit down and we're going to do dinner and main course. And because we're only 2 streets, it means that we can have a couple of bottles of wine at Jill's place, and then maybe we can have a couple of cocktails with dinner, and then sit down, with dessert and espresso martinis if we really want to. But we wouldn't have had that fun experience, those conversations, the life-changing moments, if we didn't go into the coffee shop and tell Jill we really liked her shoes.
Yeah, that's so true.
So it's just that it's a different way of going about having fun when you're not associated with sporting clubs and you're not associated with things that your kids are doing. You've got to find a different way of reaching out.
the way I'm saying it, like based on what you just shared, is like it's aligned with what Abraham Hicks says. Is like start off with something small that makes you happy and will make you have fun. So for example,
Okay.
like coffee, right? And so instead of making your own coffee, maybe like go out in the coffee shop and just buy coffee, and you're sort of by making yourself happy. And maybe
Yes.
it's that fun moment that you're having, just having a positive chat with yourself, maybe, and not on your phone. If you want to
No.
write, you can write, but
Yes.
and people find it really strange and challenging to sit by themselves in a coffee shop and just be and just enjoy that moment.
But
And
to be observant, right?
yeah,
Because we're not putting ourselves in a cone of silence.
Yeah.
The minute we pick up our phone and we start talking to our phone instead of talking to humans, where I'm showing my age, and Get Smart was a TV show that was on in the late 70s, early 80s, where when they were telling something in a secret, the cone of silence would come down. And that's essentially what you're doing to yourself when you're picking up your phone. You're saying to everybody, here's my big middle finger, and I don't want to have a conversation with anyone. So you can all just go away. But on the inside, you're the 5-year-old kid going, I really like your shoes and I'd like a pair of those. And can you tell me where you got them from? Or
Yeah.
you look like a really cool person.
Yeah.
And I'd really love to have a conversation, but I'm scared and I don't want to say something in case you think I'm a freak.
Yeah. And people, yeah, some people like they might not connect on that observing people. They might find it intimidating if you're like looking at someone else.
Mhm.
It's sort of like maybe that person is like reading a book that you like,
Yeah.
and that could be a sort of conversation. Or maybe you saw that person in another networking event, in one networking, and maybe that will be starting off a conversation, or
Yeah.
just saying hi or smiling can start off a conversation. You never know.
I told one lady she looked really beautiful. I was in there in my gym clothes and I was all sweaty and yuck. And she was sitting there and she looked stunning. And I just said, do you know what? You look really beautiful today.
Mm.
And the expression on her face was like, oh, she was a little bit taken aback. And I said,
Yeah.
I just thought you needed to know. And
And
5 minutes later, she's sitting at my table having a conversation with me.
just
You
like
don't know what's
complimenting.
going to happen
Mm.
when you speak from your heart
Yeah.
and you tell people something that you feel or you notice, or that, their energy is just really groovy, and you kind of go, you seem to have the secret to life. Like, you're really happy. What's going on?
Yeah. And I feel that some people are scared to ask that question, like, what's making you happy? Or how come you're looking happy in this world? I noticed that as well. People, like, when you look happy, they're like, oh, that's strange. Like,
You're a weirdo.
like that's really wrong. Like, you should be like, like have a lot of drama going on or something like that. But it's what you choose to focus on. If you choose, like today, like whenever you're listening and say and ask yourself, what can I do today for fun? What is the one thing I can do? Just one thing, like for fun. And if you're having a hard time to think about it, go back to your childhood. Think about the time when you had fun and you're feeling really happy. And speaking of fun, I remember there was one guy on YouTube. I don't know his name. He just go around in his car and he's videoing, and he will stop at the lights, and the person next to his car, he will just say, "Oh, did you fall off today?" Like, and it's like those cheesy pickup lines, but that will make that other person so happy, and in that moment they are feeling fun, and that's what at the core we are.
Yeah.
Fun loving souls.
Yep.
It's all
Yeah.
about the love, sharing the love in a way. When you're having fun, it's the whole world having fun with you. Because I
Correct.
remember like Abraham Hicks, she said like the moment you start healing, the whole world is healing. The moment you start being happy, the whole world is happy.
I
It's
think you just have a different lens, right?
yeah,
Normally when you are not in a great space emotionally, your relationship's a bit hard, your kids are being a bit difficult, work's challenging, everything you see around you is hard. It's challenging. It's difficult. It feels like something that's insurmountable, that you can't climb the mountain, whatever. But once your perspective starts to shift, you start to notice things differently. Like there's ease and grace in your relationship. Your kids are happy. You know, the people that you work with, all of a sudden, they're not gossiping anymore. They're just getting on with stuff and they're pleasant to be around. You know, and everywhere you go, you know, people are letting you in the traffic, and there's an ease and a grace and a flow about your world. But it all depends on the spectacles you choose to put on every single morning. So I guess from our perspective, it's to endeavour to find that little bit of fun. And even if it means dialing up on YouTube and typing in funniest comedian or best laugh in under 5 minutes. Try it. See. You know, and if you get to a space where you are laughing so hard that you can barely breathe, your energy shifts. So you're not in that stuck space. You are changing it up, or find something, go jump in a puddle, kids, you know, go stand on your head, hug a tree, sniff a flower, do something that changes the energy state in which you're in. And then you will continue to be able to find things that are fun, because everybody's definition is different. And then that gives you the freedom to start behaving in a way that is more aligned with who you truly are, rather than putting the mask on. And I would say, my dear friend is looking at me and going, we are.
You can keep going because you're in the flow. And I was going to ask you, actually, like, I'm really curious for you, like what it means for you to be free.
Oh, that's a big that's a big question, because freedom comes from a lot of things. I think I was always led to believe from a young age that I needed to behave in a certain way, that our familial religious beliefs, the way my parents chose to raise myself and my sister, that there was a poem that my mother used to read to me about the good girl with the curl. There once was a girl with a curl in the middle of a forehead, and when she was good, she was very, very good, and when she was bad, she was horrid. And so that was repeated to me incessantly as a child, because I think it was my mother's mental way of controlling a very too much type human. Like, I don't know what to do with her. And, you know, she's got a big personality. How do I, you know, control. I don't know how to live with that. How do I keep that in a neat and tidy ensemble so that I can continue on to be who I need to be? So there was limited times where I felt that I could be that big personality. So, and because it was too much for people, I just put it in a box. And I didn't feel free to be who I was. Outspoken, opinionated, noisy, loud, dancing, free-spirited, all of those sorts of things. I wasn't. I was safe, consistent, reliable, dependable, responsible, all of those horrible words. So that once I'd kind of done my Stepford wife portion of my life and got married, had the 2 kids, bought the house, bought the business, did all the stuff, and went, why am I still not happy? You know, like these were all the things that I was told that I should feel happy about. And I did. My children brought me immense joy and immense happiness, along with this very steep learning curves that come with raising 2 boys. Yes. But when I was free of those restraints, I had the capacity to learn about myself. Like I was free to explore who I was, what I wanted to look like, you know, not only on the outside, but internally. What did I want to feel? What did I value? What was important to me? What, you know, all of these self-discovery type questions. But you don't give yourself the freedom to ask those questions when you're up at 5 a.m. and your kids are hungry, and then you've got to get them ready for school, and then you've got to go to work and run a business, and there is no breadth and capacity to go, hey, what about me? So my journey, I suppose, over the last nearly 7 years has given me the freedom to explore, you know, 50 different hair colors, and you know, I'm going a bit blind because I sat behind a computer for nearly 20 years and I need to wear glasses, and I was wearing very boring, plain chocolate brown frames because, hey, don't want nobody to pay attention to me.
I can't even think of that for you. Like I can't visualize you like this, like because I didn't know you back then.
No. And now it's like, well, I'm loud. I'm a little sparkly. I like to wear beautiful things. I like to wear a lot of color, except today I'm not. I'm wearing my Rolling Stones because I'm very satisfied in where I'm at. Particularly, we were doing, you know, number 10 episode today. So I guess over the last couple of years, I've really felt the freedom to express myself through my fashion, through utilizing my voice, which, you know, we are both eternally grateful to the woman that linked us together in the first place, but gave me the skills to reach inside myself and to find the freedom to speak my truth, to tell my story, to articulate it in such a way that I can be of service to other people, and to show them that it doesn't always have to be dark and dismal, that you can rediscover who you are, and you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from the middle of the road, right? So you're starting from whatever point. It's just it's an unearthing. I think it's a freedom to pull back the layers. It's a freedom to traverse that spiritual awakening. It's a freedom to discover what you like and what you don't like. It's a freedom to unpack your stuff, have a look at it, turn it 360 and look at it from each side, each angle, and go, maybe I didn't really like myself back then, and maybe I could have been a little bit better or different or
more myself,
you know, honest and aligned with,
like being authentic to you.
Of being truthful, like going, this hasn't worked for a really long time, and I was wearing all of these coats and suits because it suited other people.
Yeah.
for me to be XYZ and to fit in their category, in their box.
Yeah.
But my box is bright and sparkly, and it's allowing me to shine a light on looking at relationships from a different perspective, and to know that the second season of your life can be bloody awesome.
Yeah.
But you want to be able to be free to check out what that means for yourself. And by no means do I advocate separation and divorce. You know, like if you can find a way with the person that you love in a healthy manner, you know, through getting some help, then do that, so long as it's giving you the space to unearth who you are, and so long as that path is still aligned for you both to keep moving forward, then do that. Unfortunately, in my case, it wasn't meant to be that way. But I'm grateful for the time that I had by myself. I'm also grateful for the last 5 years that I've had to spend with my partner that I live with, and to learn all the things about myself, and to learn what it's like to be, or the freedom to be in my feminine, what that feels like. That is challenging when you've always played in a masculine space, when you've always been the take charge person, when you've always been the person that gets stuff done. To be in that space where you're allowing someone else to take care of you, to make the decisions, to and not to say that we don't do things equally, because we do. It's just that I'm able to be fully self-expressed. I'm able to turn our house into a home. I'm able to sit and wait for him to open a door. I'm able to wait until he pulls a chair out for me to sit down at a table, and not go, idiot, I can do that myself. Like, I don't need to feel like I have to control every single moment for the desired outcome.
Yeah. Like we were saying before, the recording, about like just sitting back and relaxing, and like you being in your fully expressed divine feminine, and just be receptive, and be that
There's such a
loving.
peace to it. Like, you know, just to kind of go, oh. I think Andrew Tate said it in a and I know the guy's taken out of context, and there's a lot of stuff that I don't love about him, but he did say that he asked a woman why she chose to spend time with him, and she said, I don't have to think, I don't have to be in control when I'm with you. I can just sit back and relax and enjoy and have fun. Like, you tell me to pack a bag, I pack a bag. You tell me we're going to the airport, I go, okay, let's go. I don't know how the private jet got there. I don't know where we're going. All I know is that you told me to pack a bag, and these were the things that I needed to put in it. And I know that when we get to the other side, we're going to have fun, you know, and we might be on a boat, we might be in a villa, but I can sit back and be in receivership of you being in charge. And I know a lot of women are probably going to have a comment on that, and they're probably going to have an issue and a challenge with that. But if you haven't experienced it.
And it's how you say it, like the lens we were speaking about before. It's like, it's not about the control. It's not about the power. No. It's not about who is taking, like, oh, he's taking in charge. Like, it's not.
He's ordering my food and my drinks, and I'm not allowed to have an opinion.
Yeah, we all know that women or men are capable of doing those things. Like, there are certain things that men can't do that women will be able, but it's the same the other way as well.
Right.
And it's about accepting those, and just that's where the freedom comes, I feel, when you are
Yeah.
when you're both allowing each other to express yourself in your divine masculine, and sorry, your partner or yourself in your divine masculine,
Mm,
and being focused because you have someone who is allowing you to be that, and you
yes.
don't need to feel, because I'm on the other side, and sometimes for us, like, we feel like for me personally, I was like, if I say something, it might sound, oh, that's being like coming from a power, like I'm in charge. It's like taking control,
Yes.
but it's about how what. Then I realized, no, it's about the energy I bring to the table.
Correct. If there's a level of softness that comes with it
Yeah,
in terms of going, babe, don't worry about it tonight. All I need you to do is put on your favorite dress,
yeah,
the favorite pair of shoes you have, and come ready for a bit of fun.
yeah,
That's
and
it.
yeah, and
And
it's about,
then you step
yeah,
in and go,
mm,
behind the scenes, you have worked it all out. You've organized a car, and you've organized a restaurant, and you've organized, let's say, dancing lessons, and then you've organized a club at the end, you know, for drinks and dessert, and you've organized it all.
yeah,
All she needs to do
mm,
is to go, oh my God, what's he organized? What's
yeah,
coming next?
yeah,
I can just be.
yeah. And it's, I think I was listening to Jay Shetty yesterday, and he was saying like, when his wife came to him and said, like, I had a really bad day, like I had a really bad day, and Jay Shetty, like, in those times, he went straight, oh, I had a bad week, like, what are you talking about? And he didn't allow,
Yeah.
and he was not in his balanced masculine energy, and just give her the space, and because he was like in that wounded side, and that's where the freedom came. And then he explained, like, in his term, how he allowed that divine masculine to be expressed, and allow her to be in her divine feminine, and just let it out. Because
Mhm.
sometimes we say that, like, for men, like, we can say that women tend to complain a lot, but
Mhm.
when you actually come from a wounded side, wounded masculine side, you will think it's complaining.
Yeah.
But
But we're actually asking for help, but in a very roundabout way.
yeah,
We're talking about our feelings rather than
mm,
getting to the point. We're
yeah,
saying, I'm feeling really tired, instead of
mm,
saying, babe, could you hang out the washing while I do the dishes so that we
yeah,
can sit down on the couch and relax
mm,
together?
yeah,
You know, instead of being direct,
mm,
we're assuming that our partners, the people that we live with, can see it how we see it, you know,
yeah,
can see what we think is visual clutter. Like,
yeah,
you know, there's washing to be folded. I know that there's a load of laundry in there.
yeah,
The dogs need to be fed. You know, dinner's still cooking. All of the domestic
mm,
rubbish that gets in the way of you actually having time and space to sit and be
yeah,
with one another,
yeah,
and not talk about the domestics, not talk about the kids, not talk about,
yeah,
you know, what's going on, but talking about your vision for your future. What
yeah,
does it look like? How do you feel, hun?
mm,
Are you okay today? What's going on with you? You know,
yeah,
like, tell me about you. I
yeah,
don't want to know about your work. I don't want, you know, I want to know about you. How do
mm,
you feel? And so many of us don't give the other the freedom to express
mm,
themselves and to be in receipt of the information without wanting to fix it.
yeah, yeah.
I
And
think that
that's
is
the wound.
important.
Sorry to cut you off, but that's the
No,
wounded masculine going straight, like, I need to fix it. I need to. And that's something where we need to become more mindful. Like, by we, I mean, like, women and men
yeah,
all together. Like, when you're in
1,000%.
that, like, when you go into that wounded masculine energy, like, you feel that, oh, I need to fix it. But actually, it's when you're working on yourself and having that fun, like being happy, that actually you can go back to your partner or someone else. It could be a friend as well. It could be in your family member. It doesn't need to be your partner.
Mm,
You're allowing the other person to have fun as well, maybe on their own or with their friends.
mm,
But that gives both of you that freedom and that trust and to
mm.
really enjoy that relationship, right?
Yeah, because we're giving each other space to be who we are.
Yes.
I think overall the
Mm,
fun and the freedom is simply allowing the other person or yourself
mm,
to be fully self-expressed, to be who you are, to be in alignment, and to not feel like you've got to wear a mask in this world.
yeah, yeah. And
Um,
no mask, like just be yourself. And like I love what you said about asking each other, like, how do you feel like today? Like, really, it's not about how are you? Oh, I'm fine. No, it's not about that. I'm okay. It's
nope.
the real deep question of sitting with yourself and no kids. And if you have kids, of course, like there's no, it's not talking about them. I love that discussing that vision. And I think in Jay Shetty's book, Eight Rules of Love, he speak about having like a weekly audit of your relationship and
Yep.
just making plans for the next week. Like,
Yeah.
what do you want to do? And he recommended like you have social time with your friend and you have time with you as well. And then you have your date nights.
Yes.
And that's mean like having that fun by yourself
Mm.
socially and with your partner.
Yes.
That's free
1,000%.
level of friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that gives you another level of freedom to be fully expressed, like you said, and just be you.
Yeah. And also, don't forget that your partner is your friend. Like if you are
Mm,
in a relationship, stop thinking about them solely as the person that you love. On the basis of all of that, if they are not your friend, there's a problem.
yeah.
If you don't like them as a human, if you
Mm,
don't like them and go, let's go have some fun, like
mm.
let's go to a cake baking class, or let's go and learn, let's go and learn to be stand-up comics for 6 weeks, or
Yeah.
let's push each other
Mm,
outside of our comfort zones
yeah.
and try something
Yeah.
different. I
Yeah.
think, like if you're going to break it down into some simple steps, each day find 5 minutes. Find 5 minutes of something that's really fun.
Yeah.
At least once a fortnight, go try something new.
Yeah.
If you've never walked down the beach with your shoes off, go give it a crack. If you've never walked in nature without your shoes off, go give that a try.
Mm,
Try something different. Go and look for free activities in your local area. Try something outside the
yeah.
box. Or better still, go to the people that you work with, speak to your friends, the people that are in your, what do you guys do for fun?
Mm,
Ask the question of other people and you might be surprised at the answer,
yeah.
because then you get something else being injected in to try.
Yeah.
And then build on that. Once a week, do something small. Once a fortnight, go do something you haven't done before. Maybe once a month, ask your friends to join in and do something as a group.
Yeah.
Go do something fun together as a group. And then if you keep doing that, the new experiences that you will have in your life that you've never done before, you might get to meet some really interesting, cool
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
And you never know what opportunities come
Mm,
from meeting those people.
yeah.
So I think if you break it down to something small, once a fortnight and once a month,
Yeah.
and just those little habits stack over a lifetime, and you think if you've got another 40 years on the planet, imagine how many new experiences.
How many fun moments you're going to
And make
release?
sure you record it. Take a
Yeah.
photo, take a selfie, do a
Yeah.
little bit of a video, do something for yourself to look back on
Yeah.
and go, oh my God, do you remember when we went and did that art
Yeah.
class, or, we went and climbed that rock wall, or we did something
Yeah.
that was fun. We should do that again.
Yeah. And do tag us in the selfie if you want, like in
Oh,
the videos.
please.
Yeah,
Yes,
just tag
please.
the Divine Mess podcast or the hashtag, go for that. And I would
Yep.
like to add to something you just said, like each time you're doing that something fun, use Mel Robbins technique of giving yourself a high five. We talk
Oh,
about that.
yes. Yeah,
Give
1000%.
yourself, like go to the mirror and just give yourself a high five. And after each win, give yourself a high five. And that will make you feel more free to be you
Mm,
and to let go of what others think about you or what they will comment on what you like to do,
yeah.
and just be
Oh,
you.
that looks like fun. Can I join you next time you go and do something?
Yeah.
You might make some new friends out of it. Anything.
Yeah.
There's another F word for you. Friendship. I think it's very
There you go.
important.
And I think we talk about that today, like having fun with friends and
Making
be
new
free.
ones, creating new things, in
Yeah.
new fun things. Gives you
That's,
freedom to be who you are.
and I think that's a good way to end
I
today's
think so
episode.
too.
It's
And
a
before we
lovely.
let all these gorgeous humans go, we love you. We think you're awesome. Go and be you. And yes, your butt looks great in those jeans. So keep frog marching forward.
Yeah. And for everyone listening, don't worry, we'll tag Tina when she comes to New Zealand and do the bungee jumping. So she's going to have fun because she's going to try something new in that weekend.
Well, I'm going to go and walk my dogs in the rain because that's going to be a bit of fun for me.
Yeah, well, we all wish you like have a fun week, and guys, like practice whatever you find that's going to work for you.
Yeah.
Like maybe just giving yourself a high five after a fun activity, like Tina said, like a 5 minutes. And I find the way she break it down was brilliant. And if you want, go back to that bit. It's just maybe 5 minutes ago that she said that. So go back to that bit and just listen to that. And thank you everyone for listening, for tuning in. And if you're listening again, thank you so much. We really
Yay. We
welcome.
love you. Thank you for your love and support. It's been
Thank you
amazing.
so much and have a fun week.
Ciao for now.
See you.